ready to be ready. So I want to talk about manifestation. I want to talk about manifesting. I want to talk about creation. I want to talk about creating. And I want to talk about a very specific example. I have been building a mansion in Maui on the Kaanapali coast in my mind. And this is not just a place, but it's a lifestyle. And it is a place where I can do yoga every morning, where I can meditate every morning, where I can swim every day.
Sounds like the Hyatt Regency.
Yes, and it's absolutely one of my favorite places, yes. But we were just there recently, and my wife and I, my beautiful wife and I, that introduced me to you and introduced me to this amazing practice. And we saw some lots that were available and actually for sale right on the coast. And so since we've seen those, we've been sort of planning this, amazing life there. But my current work, which is very fulfilling and very wonderful and very creative, doesn't earn me the type of money that it would take to be able to build that mansion at this point. But I do understand how satisfying it is to have that vision and to have that desire and to have
There are a lot of things in your vortex. Being in beautiful places is one of them. But what are some of the other things that are in your vortex that you know are there?
Health, wealth, happiness,
yes.
Abundance.
Satisfaction. And what kinds of things bring you satisfaction? Do you like sitting on the beach by yourself or with someone else with the water washing up over you? Do you like that?
Absolutely.
Do you like it all the time? Are there other things you like as well?
There are.
And so what are some of those other things?
So I like creating music. I like creating things that go out into the world and give people joy.
Yeah. Do you believe in the power of your vortex? And do you think it's all in there?
Absolutely.
And do you think that your inner being knows what you want and where it is in relationship to where you are?
Absolutely.
So your questions are? My
question is, what's blocking me? And I realize that, this may be a 5-year plan.
Impatience.
Okay.
Impatience, not trusting the vortex. Because you said you wanted to talk about creating and you wanted to talk about creation and you wanted to talk about manifesting and you want to talk about manifestation. But what you're doing, and a lot of people do it, is you have decided what you want to be manifested, and then your logical mind tries to find a fast path to that manifestation. And since the money isn't already there, then that gets in your way. So the reason it's in your way is because you're too heavy on the manifestation and not focused enough on the deliciousness of the manifesting. You can tell when you start feeling impatience of time, you can tell that you're trying to speed to the manifestation rather than enjoy the manifesting.
So the day by day, minute by minute joy of creating.
It's not just moving toward that magnificent home site. It's moving toward so many things that are pleasing to you. Not just that too, but not just that. This is the reason that when we talk to you all about creating, we want you to realize that you never get it done and you never get it wrong. You can't get it wrong because it's never done. But the never done part hangs you up because you want it to be done because you want to get there to enjoy it. And we want to say to you, we want you to be on an ever unfolding path of becoming. Now stay with us just for a bit, because this is a hard way to see it, but if you can see it, it will really serve you. We want that house on the Kaanapali shore of Maui to never be finished, because in its becoming, it is still life-giving. In its having become, then it needs remodeling.
Right. So it's creating a lifestyle.
You got to move the furniture around for no reason.
Right. So is it more about creating a lifestyle and a feeling of sitting there meditating?
Lifestyle feels like me in my body living a style. Let's just call it creating a life flow, creating a life feeling. Let's call it satisfaction. I loved being there. I loved seeing it. I loved taking it all in. I loved feeling the energy of it. I loved the influence that that island had on my being. I love the well-being that is there and our ability to focus and the influence that that place had on me. I have been influenced. I've become infected with the vibration of Maui. It is now a part of me. I will never be able to be separate from it. I and that island are now one. We are a vibrational match to one another. There's such satisfaction in knowing that, satisfaction in the memory of it, satisfaction in the becoming of it. Jerry and Esther have 40 acres in Texas. It's along the interstate, close to Interstate 10. And they bought it in several pieces that just kept showing up. And now it's this contiguous piece of 40 acres. And it was really interesting. Someday Esther will write it down so that you can read how fun it was as it evolved. But one day, long after they had all 40 acres and long after the beautiful center building was built where Abraham Hicks Publications is housed, Jerry and Esther were sitting in the room that is Jerry's office, and Jerry was basking with such intensity. And he said to Esther, I'd like to talk to Abraham, because before they owned any of that acreage, they were renting a house down the street. And on warm summer days, they used to walk through the bushes and duck through a wire fence and walk over into this acreage. And they came out into a clearing, and Jerry said to Esther one day, can you feel this? And Esther said, oh, I can. It felt like well-being. It felt like what you're feeling when you think of Maui. It was intense. It was almost tasteable. It was so strong. And so every day that they were in the area, they walked in there and roamed around in there and enjoyed it. Whoever owned it hadn't been there in so many years. There was no evidence of anybody ever having been there. And so now, fast forward these years, and now Jerry and Esther are sitting in this building, and Jerry said, Abraham, I think I'm sitting on maybe the exact spot where that clearing was. And when Esther and I found it all those years ago, I said to Esther, happy people have lived here. And we said to him in that moment, you are the happy people you were feeling.
You in the future, yeah.
In the vortex.
Yeah.
It was already in the vortex, and they were being called to see it because it was already in the vortex. And he felt like that he had found the spot where happy people had been, when actuality he had found the spot where happy people were moving to. This is what this vibrational reality is all about. But this is why we are wanting you to find patience. But patience isn't something that you can just find. Patience is something that you feel. Patience and satisfaction are the same thing. It's being satisfied with these thoughts, satisfied with these feelings, not needing this and this and this to change before I feel satisfaction. Feeling satisfaction because I'm finding it here. I'm finding it in the thought. I'm finding it. Many years transpired between the time they felt that and the time they were sitting in that spot.
And so when you resonated with it, when you felt that resonation, did you forget about it then for a while? And then other things happened in the universe, the magical artificial intelligence that is our universe came together and built it?
Yes, yes. When you find a moment in time where you feel that satisfaction and you sit in it and contemplate it and enjoy it and acknowledge it and let its influence really influence you, let yourself become one with it. It's yours forever. It will never go away. And so other things will lead you to it. But it's not just that one thing that gives you that. Let all the things in your world, let your filmmaking give you that. Let your baby give you that. Let your mate give you that. Let your neighbors give you that. Let so many things lead you to that place, because it's the vibrational frequency that we're talking about. It's not the subject, it's the frequency. And lots of things will lead you to that frequency. And once you own that frequency, once that frequency is home, not Maui, once that frequency is home, then those vibrations must turn to those things. It just has to be. This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.